那现在的海内外针对于2026年第一个季度的雅思口语 Part1 的新题呢，大概有16个左右。然后呢，我会分成2到3个视频系列呢，把这些新题串一遍。这样呢，第一就是对于咱们去年9到12月的学生过渡到第一季度，我觉得大家重点肯定还是在新题的准备，但并不是说老题就完全不重要了，因为这还是有概率问题。如果是新手的同学呢，也可以跟着视频做跟练。我们在视频的分享里头，我还是会把每个题旁边对应的题型也会列述出来。因为熟悉整个评分标准的话，你会发现口语评分标准跟咱们平时的聊天还是2个概念的所以总之大家也可以在每一次我呈现一个新话题的时候大家摁暂停，然后呢再来去看我后面给出来的高分的回答。同时呢，在听这些回答的时候，可以感受一下像结构，包括语言的具体使用是如何达到评分标准的这种高的分数线的。照例呢，我也打一个广告。如果说大家在4月份就要出分，或者是一直卡在某一个科目或者某一个分数线上，那么大家也可以来找到链接到我们非常棒的团队，我们也会定期的去开雅思，包括托福的1对1和训练营。那我们就进入到主题。首先第一个新题是 Food。Number 1, what's your favorite food? Well, I'm into all kinds of food, to be honest. When it comes to Chinese cuisine, I'm especially fond of hot pot because it's incredibly flavorful and also quite a social dining experience, since people usually gather around the table and cook together. As for international food, I really enjoy Japanese sushi because it's light, fresh, and beautifully presented, which makes the whole meal feel quite refined. Number 2, what kind of food did you like when you were young? Well, back in the day, I definitely had quite a sweet tooth. I used to love desserts like cakes and ice cream because they felt exciting and indulgent to a child. However, as I grew older, my taste gradually shifted toward a more balanced and nutritious food, partly because I became more aware of the importance of maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Number 3, do you eat different foods at different time of the year? Yes, most of the time I adjust my diet according to the season because it simply feels more comfortable that way. For instance, during winter, I tend to eat warm and hearty meals like soup or hot pot to stay warm. In contrast, when summer arrives, I usually switch to lighter food such as salads or cold noodles since they feel more refreshing. Number 4, has your favorite food changed since you were a child? Yeah, it definitely has. When I was younger, I tended to prefer fast food and sugary drinks because they were fun, convenient, and very appealing to kids. Nowadays, however, I'm much more interested in nutritious and well-balanced meals, mainly because I've become increasingly conscious of my health. 下一个新题是关于 pets and animals。Okay, number 1, what's your favorite animal and why? Well, my favorite animal is definitely a dog. One reason is that dogs are incredibly loyal and emotionally intelligent, which allows them, to build a very strong bonds with their owners. Another reason is that they can bring a great deal of joy and companionship into people's lives, especially for those who live alone. Number 2, where do you prefer to keep your pet? Indoors or outdoors? If I had to choose, I would definitely keep pets indoors. I feel that it's much safer and more comfortable for them, especially in busy cities where there is a lot of traffic and noise. Outdoor environments can sometimes expose pets to potential dangers, so keeping them indoors usually provides better protection. Number 3, have you ever had a pet before? Yes, I have. When I was in primary school, my family had a small dog. It was a really memorable experience because taking care of it helped me develop a stronger sense of responsibility. What's the most popular animal in China? Generally speaking, dogs are probably the most popular pets in China because they are loyal companions and easier for people to connect with emotionally. However, in recent years, more young adults, especially those living in apartments, have started to prefer cats since they are easier to look after. 下一个新题是 sports team。 Number 1, have you ever been part of a sports team? Yes, I have. When I was in middle school, I joined my school's basketball team. Although it wasn't very professional, the experience was really enjoyable and it helped me learn the importance of teamwork. Is team sports popular in your culture? Yeah, it's quite popular. Generally speaking, many young people enjoy team sports like basketball and football because they're exciting and highly social. However, there are also people, who prefer individual sports such as running or badminton since they offer more flexibility. Do you like watching team games and why? Yeah, I do enjoy watching team games. One reason is that I think the teamwork and the strategies involved make the matches much more engaging. Another reason is the atmosphere created by the fans, which can be incredibly energetic and sometimes even contagious. What are the differences between team sports and individual sports? Between the two, team sports rely far more on cooperation and coordination among players. For example, teammates need to communicate and support each other throughout the game. In contrast, individual sports mainly depend on single athlete's performance and personal discipline. 下一个新题是关于 hobby. First one, do you have any hobbies? Yeah, I do. I'm particularly into reading because it helps me unwind while also expanding my knowledge. What I enjoy most is that books can expose me to new ideas and perspectives. Number 2, did you have any hobbies when you were a child? Yeah, when I was younger, I really enjoyed drawing and doing small crafts. I used to spend hours sketching cartoon characters, which was a creative way for me to pass the time. Do you have a hobby that you've had since childhood? Yeah, reading is something I've enjoyed since childhood. Back then, I mainly read storybooks, but over time, my interests gradually expanded to nonfiction and educational books. Do you have the same hobbies as your family members? To some extent, yeah, my parents also enjoy reading, so we occasionally recommend books to each other. However, our reading preferences are slightly different because they prefer history, while I tend to read more about psychology and personal development. 接下来的新题是 morning time. Number 1, do you like getting up early in the morning? Yeah, I do enjoy getting up early when I have a clear plan for the day because it makes me feel more productive and organized. However, if I didn't sleep well the night before, waking up early can feel quite exhausting. Number 2, what do you usually do in the morning? Most of the time, I start my morning by checking messages and having a quick breakfast, which helps me wake up gradually. But when I have more time, especially on weekends, I might read a few pages of book or go for a short walk. Number 3, what did you do in the morning when you were a child and why? Well, when I was little, my mornings were usually quite structured. I would wake up early, have breakfast, and then head to school because classes start fairly early. Number 4, are there any differences between what you do in the morning now and what you did in the past? I have to say a lot has changed compared to the past. In the past, my mornings were mostly about getting ready for school and rushing to class. Nowadays, my schedule is a bit more flexible, so I can start the day at a calmer pace. Number 5, do you spend your mornings doing the same things on weekends and weekdays, and why? Well, generally speaking, my weekday mornings are quite structured because I need to follow my work or study schedule. However, weekends are usually more relaxed. If I have extra time, I might cook a proper breakfast, read a few pages of a book, or simply take things slowly. 接下来的新题是 gifts. Number 1, have you ever sent handmade gifts to others? Yes, I have. I once made a handmade birthday card for a closer friend. It wasn't perfect, but it felt much more personal than simply buying something from a shop. Number 2, have you ever received a great gift? Yeah, one of the best gifts I received was a book from a friend. I really appreciate it because it perfectly met my interests. Number 3, what do you consider when choosing a gift? Well, the first thing I consider is the person's interests, because a thoughtful gift should reflect what they genuinely like. Another factor I would say is practicality, since I prefer giving something that can actually be used in daily life. Number 4, do you think you are good at choosing gifts? Yes, I would say I'm fairly good at it. I usually pay attention to what people mention in conversations, which often gives me useful hints about their preferences. Number 5, what gift have you received recently? Recently, I received a notebook from a friend. It may sound simple, but I actually use it quite often to write down ideas and plans. Because of that, it turned out to be both practical and thoughtful.